Alright, started.
I don't remember where we left off now.
You do?
Yeah.
We have everything saved?
Yeah.
Do we not want to restart?
No, we don't want to restart. We can pick up where we left off.
Okay.
So, let's talk about some of the few good things that this movie had.
Yes, about Chun-Li.
Yes. Because it did have a couple good ones.
Mm-hmm.
We had the opening scenes pretty much laid out a good example of what this movie could have been.
Yeah.
Like, not perfect, definitely flawed, but still had some character and some like enjoyment to it.
Mm-hmm.
It was cheesy, the visuals were pretty shoddy, but at the same time, like, it was a little campy, and there was still that appreciation for like martial arts fights that came from the fight between Chun-Li's dad and Michael Clark Duncan. And then it seems like as soon as that fight is done and we transition to the other characters, it like completely derails itself from what it set up.
I agree. Because it goes into like this, it goes from sort of like a crime revenge story into like a self-finding story.
Yeah.
And her, finding the streets.
Yes.
Because she belongs to the streets.
It's so weird. There was like very little to no streets, and there was almost no fighters.
She belongs to the streets.
There was no streets, no fighters, and it wasn't so much of a legend because it did take place in modern time.
If it like
poor title choice.
The legend of Chun-Li.
More like the Snapchat story of Chun-Li. You know what I mean?
Snapchat original.
Yeah.
The Legend of Chun-Li.
And in it, I think it's really funny that like you have these CW actors that have played in. They were main characters in Smallville, and the main character,
Kirsten Crow.
She was the main character.
She
of
played
Smallville.
Lana Lang.
Lana Lang in Smallville.
Can I gush about Smallville for a little bit?
In a second.
Okay.
Because we also have another DC CW actor.
That is not Chris Klein, but Neil McDough.
Neil McDough.
I forget, what was he in?
He was in Arrow. He played Damien Dark.
That's right. Oh
right? Was it Damien Dark? I don't know. He was one of the villains.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny because this almost plays out like I would imagine a CW show from like 2010 to 2012 to play out.
If they have like a season finale.
Yes.
That's what this would be.
That's exactly what this would be. And I think that kind of summarizes the entire feeling of this movie.
But separate from that, the feeling that I got from this movie, I was sort of invested in the movie. I was paying attention well, better than all the other movies we've had in the past.
See, I was giving it my full attention, and I still like either didn't care or just like things were happening, and I was like glazed over. Like
that too.
I told Yuli this. It felt like when your dad was watching something on TV and you were playing toys in the living room.
And it was just on.
Like you weren't really paying attention. Even though I was giving it my full undivided attention.
Yes.
That's how it felt the whole time I was watching it.
Yeah.
It was just very, like unstimulating is the word I'll use.
Yeah. To bridge off that, to bridge off the blandness of the movie, I want to talk about the costume design for a little bit. Because this movie could have been really cool in terms of that aspect. Because the costumes, hopefully we can put up pictures of like some of the characters.
Yeah.
They're very colorful.
They are.
And it's so vibrant and they have such great like features and shadowing. But in this movie they're just wearing rags and suits.
Yeah, they don't look good. Chun-Li never looks like Chun-Li.
She never does. She looks like a homeless woman.
Yeah. And that's like one of the worst parts about like video game adaptations is if you're gonna take something as over the top and kind of ridiculous
as Street
Fighter, I want you to full send that.
Yeah.
The same way they did with Jean-Claude in the original Street Fighter.
I've never actually seen that movie.
Really?
Ever.
It's so good.
Is it on our list?
No, it's not. But Jean-Claude did the original Street Fighter movie. I think he played Ken.
He did.
Yeah.
I looked that up. I looked it up on IMDb.
Yeah, and it was really like it was cheesy. It definitely wasn't good, but it definitely committed to the like, oh, this is a corny cartoon video game.
I get you.
The same way that kind of like, as bad as it is, the Doom movie with The Rock.
I thought you were about to say Dune, like the original Dune movie.
No. The movie.
I know what I get.
With The Rock and Carl Urban.
Great movie. I love Carl Urban. Especially now more than ever.
Yes.
Watching old Carl Urban movies.
Dude, I always forget he's in the Lord of the Rings.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And whenever I watch, because me and Shelby just watched the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Carl Urban?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. On to the next, I guess. Not the next movie, but next
like
topic.
the next topic.
My favorite part. What's your favorite scene from the movie? And then we'll go into worst part, and then we'll give our score.
Probably that opening fight scene
with Bison and all
the guards and the dad, and then he takes that like alcohol bottle, and he pops the cork.
That was dope as fuck.
Yeah, it looked janky as hell, but like
it was cool.
It worked.
They did that in John Wick.
And then he lit his hand on fire and with the chain.
I don't understand how the fuck he did that. Did he turn like Nicolas Cage or something?
So like in theory, what they were trying to show was that his hand got covered in the alcohol.
Yeah.
Then he lit the alcohol on fire.
And then
when he whipped his hand, the alcohol covered the chain. Yeah.
That's so stupid.
But like, it worked for like 2 seconds. Where I was like, "That's dumb," but I'll take it.
It was like the pencil scene from John Wick.
Yeah. It looked cool.
Yeah. My personal favorite scene. It's not even a scene. It's just like literally 6 seconds of the movie, and it's in the end credits.
Yeah.
It's whenever she jumps down to snap
his neck,
and she like wraps around like with her fucking thighs. It's like whatcha, and his neck just, and he's like upside down, bro. It's so cool though.
Yeah,
it's so cool. That's cool. That's my entire favorite part. But the CGI where she does like the
her little Kamehameha
it looks
thing.
So shit.
It looks so flat.
I know. It's like Doctor Strange or some shit, dude. Like you got the
I don't know if you've seen the Corridor Crew. They do the VFX artists reacts.
Yeah.
Okay, so they talked about that.
Tron.
Yeah, they talked about that scene specifically, actually,
really?
And they talked about how there are so many problems wrong with because they watched multiple clips of it. There's so many problems with the movie's visuals.
Yeah.
Especially for something from 2009.
I wrote down it feels like a MJ documentary because I wrote whitewash. Not knowing that everybody played their...
Yeah, everyone played their race.
But it just looked so not cultured. And then I wrote down green screen because there's one scene where I forgot, it's in the first like 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Kirsten Crow is like, she's doing something and you could see the outline of the green screen against her head.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot what
exactly
it was.
What you're talking about.
But it was early in the movie, I was like, oh.
Or when she's like homeless... And she's sleeping on the set, and like there's just that big gaping blue light with the mist coming through from the fog machine. It looks like a Power Ranger set.
Okay. Your least favorite scene?
Least favorite scene? Probably that end fight. It was a pretty anticlimactic fight. Kirsten Crow's fight scenes in general were pretty boring.
She fought
compared to everyone else.
Yeah,
especially because they had the guy from the original Mortal Kombat, the guy that played Liu Kang, he was Gen. Yeah. So he's an actual martial artist before an actor. And
he was probably my most interesting character. Like the dynamic that, not the dynamic, the plot that they kind of built with the spider web organization. What that was. That was probably my most interesting part of the movie.
Yeah.
And she was training and shit like that. But the one scene, sorry, I don't mean to keep on going.
No, you're okay.
The one scene where she's training blindfolded and he like throws the rocks and shit, she catches them. That was dope. I like that.
Fair enough. It was cheesy. It was kind of exactly what I expected.
Me too.
It was better than Dungeon Siege.
Much better.
It was leagues better than Dungeon Siege, but that's not hard to do when it's such a bad movie.
Yeah, this movie I can actually pay attention. I would honestly watch it again. I would watch it again.
It is exactly what I remembered it as, and it's one of those movies that played on FX when you were sick.
Yes. Are we ready for our score?
I'm ready for my score.
Do you have yours?
Yeah, I'm gonna give Street Fighter a 2.
Oh wow, that's kind of low. Before I give my score, I just want to go down through my credentials: acting, directing, writing.
Yeah.
Little notes. I said it's an Asian Smallville episode that's 90 minutes long.
Yes.
And then I said The fight scenes are dope, and the B-roll is nice, which it was. The B-roll was something out of like
those little montages.
Yeah, little B-rolls. Those were nice, and the writing was a 0 out of 10.
It's really
was
bad
so
writing.
Bad. So bad.
I don't know why they brought Chris Klein into this. He has no place being here.
His character's so dumb.
I didn't care at all about any of the scenes. And
whenever he first came in, like whenever he arrives at the scene, and she's like, "Who are you?" And he's like,
"The name is Nash."
My name's Nash, and his hair's all fucking thinned out.
He's like trying to be like Christian Slater. That's everything that he is trying to be. Trying to be Christian Slater, but he looks like Dave from Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Dude, yes. All right, score time. You ready?
Yeah.
4 out of 10. Respectable.
4 is good. 4 is like the highest that the low can get.
Yeah. But I gave Human Centipede a 6.
Yeah, but you actually liked it.
I loved Human Centipede. That was great. On to the next movie. The Hunt.
Otherwise known as Yachten.
Yes. Great.
Do you want to give like the director and the...
I would love to. I've never got to do this. I'm actually prepared.
You know what year it was directed into?
No.
It was 2012.
2012? Okay. Directed in 2012 by a man named Thomas Vinterberg, co-directed by the writer as well, Tobias Lindholm.
Yes.
This is a movie about Lucas, who is played by Mads Mikkelsen. He is a kindergarten assistant.
Yes.
And he gets accused of sexual assault by one of these students who is like jealous or envious of him.
Yeah, because she has a crush on him.
And she also got like kind of, I guess you could say, like visually molested.
Not exactly. She was exposed to pornographic video.
Yeah, and she used that as a basis of claims that Mads Mikkelsen sexually assaulted her.
Yeah.
And this spreads into wildfire because a guy comes in giving these symptoms of sexual assault, and then everybody thinks that their kids got assaulted.
Yes.
And it's basically a hunt, and it's a deep psychological dive into what somebody like that goes through.
Definitely doesn't pull any punches.
It is very vivid.
But I think what they did best here, because it's such a sensitive topic to talk about, it's something they could have messed up so bad.
I've only ever seen one movie do something like this, right? And that's Spotlight.
Yeah.
And that didn't even include scenes of the matter.
Yes.
You know, and this kind of did.
Now, I really like that with something so sensitive, something so, like, intense that you should 100% believe the accuser, like, because no one wants to take the side of a child molester.
Yes, of course.
It was important that they said that he was innocent from the start. There's no question in your mind if he did it or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm glad that they gave multiple contexts.
Yes.
Because if they... I could not have stood this movie without the context of the girl, Clara.
Yes.
Yes, our secondary main character, in my opinion.
Yes.
She is a student at the school who is the victim of sexual assault.
And I the more I think about it, the more I can't quit comparing it to Parasite.
How so?
In the sense that, much like Parasite, where no one was really in the wrong, there's no one really in the wrong here either.
Yeah.
Everyone's behavior is very understandable.
Especially, okay, the one part that I couldn't understand, the most problematic character, should I say, was Lucas's son. He was the most out of line in this movie, but we'll talk about him later.
Yes.
Continue.
I genuinely understand where everyone comes from in this. It's a bunch of parents who are afraid that something really, really horrible has happened to their kids.
Yeah.
It's one guy who's innocent and no one wants to believe that he's innocent.
Yeah.
All of the actions are very believable, and that's my favorite part about the movie, is that it never goes beyond my realm of disbelief. You know what I mean? It never breaks that barrier where
I feel like this
that
could
wouldn't happen.
And like, I feel like it's gonna happen here where we
live. Exactly.
It's happened to my town before. In Cleburne. This teacher, he presented himself to other girls in middle school. Got one of them pregante.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was rough.
That's not good at all.
Yeah, and it turns out that he did it with 5 other girls.
Oh god.
Yeah.
But the acting in this movie is like top tier.
It is It is god tier. I have my stars that I mentioned, and I put a big fat one on acting.
Yes. Mads Mikkelsen is amazing. The actor that plays Clara's dad,
Theo. Thomas Bo Carson.
Thank you.
He is native to Denmark.
Fantastic actor. He does a really, really great performance.
He is, especially in the church scene.
Yes.
Oh.
Which we'll go in depth on the church scene in just a moment. But this all comes together from really, really great direction.
Yes.
The stylistic choices that he chose, where certain camera angles are tucked around a corner, almost like a predator watching prey when it comes to Lucas.
Yeah.
There are scenes where Lucas feels incredibly vulnerable and just like
especially
it's gut-wrenching what he goes through.
The final scene whenever they're in the forest.
Yes.
I felt like this movie scared the shit out of me.
The ending is so jaw-dropping and shocking.
Yeah.
That it sat with me for so long after the credits rolled.
It was like whenever I watched it, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it just had my mind racing, like, who would do something like that?
Yeah.
You know, and like have I would call it mercy.
Yes.
Because he was, as soon as, I guess we can say it, spoilers, sorry.
Spoiler alert, if you plan on watching The Hunt, skip ahead.
To this timestamp. Boing. Whenever the guy shoots at him,
yes,
and he's just sitting there at his bay like this, he's just looking at him.
Yeah, and what's worse is you'll never know who it is.
You have no idea.
And it doesn't matter
who do you think it is.
I don't even know who it could be, but like that's the whole point, is that it doesn't matter. All that matters is that he's never going to be fully accepted back into the society
ever.
Yeah,
it was like that ending was absolutely insane.
Yeah,
the guy missed on purpose.
Yeah,
and then just right there.
Yep.
Imagine staring down like the end of your life at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It is the perfect metaphor for the movie, because the movie's called The Hunt.
Yes.
He's getting hunted.
Absolutely.
Throughout the entire movie, and it's just so I forgot what the word is. Like it's like visualizing. It's very visual.
Symbolic.
So yeah, I forgot. It's the word that you use to like it's very good imagery.
Yes.
That's what it was.
See, what I also love about this is that it doesn't try to be anything deeper than what it is. It's very
realistic.
much
it's grounded.
Just grounded. There's no symbolism, there's no deeper meaning. It is just a raw story from start to finish that keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time.
I guess we'll start with your favorite parts of the film.
My favorite part, the church scene.
The church
hands
scene?
down. The build up to the church scene, the intensity of the church scene. It is one of my all-time favorite scenes from any movie now. And it serves so well as the movie's poster.
I haven't seen the poster of this movie.
Really? So the poster is just that shot of him staring at Theo.
Oh, whenever he's looking back in the chair?
Yes. It's just that.
That was... Okay. Before I go into that scene with you, I had never seen a movie with him in it. Mads Mikkelsen.
Really?
Ever.
You've never seen Casino Royale?
Mm.
Really?
No.
What the fuck?
I know. I know he's in it, though. I've never seen any of his movies, I swear. This is the first.
God.
Like I wrote it down in my notes. I said, acting. This is the first Mads Mikkelsen movie I've ever seen, and he is a perennial actor.
Yeah.
There's only a couple actors I've seen that have made performances this well, especially in a foreign film, because most foreign films I can't really attach to, because there's stuff that's like I don't understand because it's a different culture.
Language barrier and the different cultures, definitely.
But this he was magnificent in this movie. It was it was so good, so good.
You've just been exposed to a whole new world of really good acting.
I'm very, very excited because he's on this list a couple times, I believe.
No, actually, this is his only one.
No?
Yeah.
I thought he had a movie in like the top 20.
No.
No. I'm tripping then, dog.
But yeah, Casino Royale, that's a great movie. He plays the villain.
Yeah, I know.
He performs cock and ball torture on Daniel Craig.
Yeah, with a chair and shit.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite scene in the movie was either the church scene.
Yeah.
Or the scene whenever he is burying his dog.
Oh my god.
That is gruesome.
I cried my eyes out.
I cried so hard. It's either that or the scene whenever his son, what's his son's name again? Marshall? Like
Marcus.
Marcus. Marcus goes to
He goes to Theo's house.
He goes to Theo's house because his dad got arrested.
Yes.
And brought in for questioning.
And he confronts Clara.
He spits at her.
Yeah.
And calls her a bitch.
Yeah.
Asking why he did that to his dad.
Yeah.
And then Theo sits down with Clara, and then Clara tells her she's telling the truth because she realizes what's happening.
Yeah, but she doesn't know that it's Theo. She thinks it's Lucas. And she's apologizing to Lucas.
Yeah. But still, and then but nobody believes her.
Yeah.
They all think that she's like warped and that she wants to feel bad.
Yeah, she's just repressing it.
Yeah. But it's a very realistic but scary turn of events.
Yes.
And I feel like it could happen to me. It could happen to you.
Yeah, it definitely sits with you for a long time after the credits roll. It's you think about it later, because at first I didn't have that great of an opinion on it. It was good. I just was like, yeah, it's fine. And then the more I sit on it, the more I'm like, wow, that was really, really good.
I'm excited to watch it again because we have it rented for 2 days. I'm probably gonna watch it before I go to work tomorrow.
And I definitely think that it does it in a way that doesn't change the fact that you should still like believe an accuser of something so graphic. It doesn't say like, oh well, you never know,
but it
like
also,
someone could be innocent.
It also gives it's hopeful but bleak at the same time.
It's a very like bittersweet ending.
Yeah, because it's the ending that you want, but it's not the ending that he wants. Yes, it'll never end for him.
Yes,
ever.
And that's another thing that I really love about it, is that this story definitely continues after the credits roll. In the same way that the story was going before the movie began.
Yeah, because I feel like they could make a TV show out of this or something.
Absolutely.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Odyssey epic in a sense, because there's a lot of pathos and ethos in this movie that's represented very well.
Yes.
In the dynamics between Lucas and Theo. And one of my favorite characters in the movie that I guess is connected to that is his godfather, Marcus's godfather.
Yes.
He is one of my favorite actors in this movie. He does so well.
He really does.
I've never heard of most of the actors besides Matt Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
And I think that I heard and read that most of them were local.
Yeah.
From Denmark. And they just picked them up. They had auditions and they picked most of them. They picked the Godfather up and they picked Marcus up off of open auditions.
Really?
Which I thought was really cool.
That is cool.
But least favorite scene?
Least favorite scene? I don't necessarily have a least favorite scene. It's probably the only time where I was like, okay, that wouldn't happen, would be when he goes to the grocery store and he starts getting beat up.
No, but I believe that could happen though.
It could. It very could.
Because Germany is similar to Denmark.
Yes.
And they have very strict rules on like businesses' rights to refuse customers. And police aren't that involved in rural areas, so they can basically do whatever they want.
It was just that point where he goes in and he headbutts him. Like, that seemed a little out of character for Lucas.
Yeah.
Just ever so slightly. But it could also be argued that that's just what happens when Lucas gets pushed over the edge.
Yeah, because he got pushed over the edge twice in this movie.
Yes.
In the church and in the grocery store. But honestly, the guys in the grocery store deserved it.
Yes.
Because they were being absolute assholes to him.
Yes.
And his son.
Yes.
Who did not deserve any of that.
Yes.
My least favorite scene was probably it was whenever somebody drove by the house and threw the rock and hit him in the head.
Yeah.
And whenever they found the dog, that was my least favorite scene. Not because it was bad, but because it was just so heartbreaking.
It was. It was gut wrenching.
It was just it made me want to throw up almost.
Yeah. No, the movie like made me so like anxious. It made me so like. What's the word?
It made me very tense.
Yeah, it made me very tense and it made me very uncomfortable. And I know that was the goal, but it made me almost too uncomfortable at times.
Yeah.
In a way that I didn't imagine to get, because I obviously reading the summary before I went in, I went
into this blind.
I knew what I was getting into a little bit, but I didn't expect it to to reach the intensity that it did.
Yeah.
And the realism,
especially with the ending sequences.
Because this movie very well could have, and I'm gonna make a word up. If it's not an actual word, this is a made up word. It very well could have over dramatized itself, over dramatized.
It definitely could have made it into like a Showtime special.
Yes,
it could have been like a Hallmark.
It could have been very, very over dramatic. It could have been very, let's try and make a statement. It could have been very
Oscar movie.
Yeah, let's just try and get an Oscar.
But this movie was very real.
It was very real, and it was very intense, and it was very anxiety inducing.
Do you have a highlight in terms of categories?
Acting.
Mine is acting and cinematography.
Yes.
The forest scenes are gorgeous.
They are.
And the shots, like the still shots of like just like the nature moving.
Yeah.
Like the way they captured the town that they were filming in.
Yeah, that like small town. It was just
so. It made me feel like I was a citizen of the town, just watching everything unfold, especially with the scenes in the church.
Yes.
And the grocery scenes, because whenever they have the scene of him walking out, what's his face? The dad,
Theo.
Theo, his daughter, and his wife are all sitting there watching out, and then it shows the pan, but it's widened out to match the human eye.
Yes.
Which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many different POV shots that are just absolutely insane.
Yeah. And also I found out there's another movie, same director and Mads Mikkelsen.
Really?
It's about Mads Mikkelsen. I think it's him. It's kind of like Leaving Las Vegas in a sense, but like a little bit less visceral.
Is it Another Round?
Yeah.
Great movie.
I saw it on the recommendations. And it's the same writer director.
Yeah, it's a really, really good movie. It's one of the best movies from last year.
I want to watch it.
Mads Mikkelsen and friends are a set of teachers that have a theory that their life would be better if they kept their blood at the same alcohol level. So they're just in a constant state
of drunkenness,
of buzzed.
Oh.
Not like blackout drunk, but buzzed. Really great movie. Okay. Really, really good movie. Yeah. It's on Hulu.
Okay. Score time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, before we give score, I kind of want to read down my notes because I had some good notes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think. Okay, I watched this movie from beginning to end, full, not taking my eyes off. It was insane. So here are my notes.
Yeah.
Very thoughtful and noteworthy.
Okay.
The kid can't wipe his own ass. That pissed me off.
Yeah.
Clara is horny as fuck.
No, she is.
/ liar.
Yes.
Clara. Gosh, Clara can suck a figurative and literal dick. She said her mom is so manipulative.
Yeah.
She is, because she everybody in the community is manipulative. It's everybody's fault that this happened.
Yes.
Especially the teacher's fault.
Oh yeah. The principal?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I hate her so much.
She should not have. Well, rephrase. I understand why she told the parents and why she wanted to warn them. I don't think she handled it the way she should have.
At all.
Absolutely not.
And then I wrote ASMR because there was one scene, I forgot what scene it was. I think they were cooking. He was cooking something, and it was just like this really nice. The audio, the sound design in this movie is really good. Yeah, is what I'm trying to say. And they said they killed the fucking dog. Yeah. And I already read off what I said for acting. That has my star. Yeah. Directing, it is one of the most color contrasting films I've ever seen. Truly heartbreaking and depressing in the best way I can say it.
Yeah.
And like I said, the color contrasting is insane because in the scenes,
the colors are wonderful.
The scenes where it's representing like sadness and depression through Lucas.
The film is very gray. Dark and gray.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it never really bleeds into this like realm of disbelief. Yeah. You know what I mean? It stays right there where it's like, this is real.
Yeah. And then the writing, this was the big, this was the most underrated part. I gave this writing a 10 out of 10. This was the best written film we've had in our list.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is the best written film that we've had in our list.
It is insanely well, and I really want to read the script. Absolutely. I want to see what direction the original screenwriter took and how verbatim it is off the film.
And just something really, really subtle that, it sat with me when it hit. The film takes it uses diegetic style of audio where there's no score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's completely, the music that occurs is occurring in the world of the film.
Like whenever they're partying.
Yes. Until it does the 1 year time jump. And then it does a score which takes you into a realm of disbelief, because it's almost unbelievable that he gets back into
regular
society
life.
And regular life.
Acceptance.
Especially so fast.
Yeah. But off that note, we're talking about the end of the film. This is nearing the end of our podcast.
Yeah.
And we should give scores.
We should.
I want you to go first.
Okay. I am incredibly happy with this film.
Me too.
I really, really like it. I can't wait to rewatch it. It's one of my favorites that we've watched so far. Not my absolute, but it's the one that I recommend more than any other film we've watched.
Yes. This isn't my favorite. This is second favorite.
Yeah, I gave Singing in the Rain a 10. Yeah. And I would still recommend this one over Singing in the Rain, just because I encourage people to watch foreign films, and I encourage people to watch something that's a little out of their comfort zone. Yeah. And I think this is exactly that.
It has a good balance of commercialism and realism.
Yeah. So I would definitely give this one a 9.
My original score off the first watch, without thinking about it, I wrote down an 8.
Yeah.
But now that we've talked about it, because I've been wanting to talk to you about this movie ever since I watched it today for the second time.
Exactly.
This is it's a 9.5. It's close to a 10. If there was, if it was just a little bit longer and there was a little bit more like depth in the plot,
like fleshed out a little more.
Yeah. And like the ending is so bleak too. It's just, it's unfulfilling, but it is at the same time. It's
exactly.
It's like a good meat off the bone, but there's some fat on there.
It's really thought provoking.
Yeah. It's a 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
So 9 on the score.
All right. Perfect.
Yeah. Recommendation.
Movie recommendation time.
Movie recommendation of the week.
All right. I am going to go ahead and start off. I'm going to recommend Perfect Blue, directed by Satoshi Kon, who, in my opinion, is the best anime film director of all time. Rest in peace.
Who we also mentioned in our podcast at the time of filming, it should go up tomorrow.
Yes.
We talked
about him and how he influenced
Requiem for a Dream.
How he influenced Requiem for a Dream. His work in Perfect Blue can be seen really heavily in Black Swan. And there are even direct shots taken from Perfect Blue and put into Requiem for a Dream. It is one of my all-time favorite anime movies. It's one of my all-time favorite movies. Go check it out. It is about a J-pop star who is transitioning into acting, and how she struggles to identify with herself, and how she starts to lose grip on reality in the process of losing herself. All right.
That's a good explanation. Do you have a score for the movie?
Absolutely. I would give Perfect Blue a 10. Perfect Blue is one of my 10s.
I'd give it an 8.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like it as much as you.
That's understandable, but I watched it a lot, and I have a really good story with how I watched it.
I wouldn't say for the second week in a row, because last week I had one recommendation.
Yeah.
But this week I have 2.
Okay.
I have, which I watched again for the first time in a very long time.
Yeah.
Spirited Away.
Okay. Good choice.
Don't know the directors or any of that.
Hayao Miyazaki.
It came out in
2001.
2001, and it is choreographed, should I say, by Studio Ghibli. Animated. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I watched it for the first time since I was 12 years old last week, and it made me feel like a kid again. Yeah. It was very, very whimsical, and it just put a smile on my face.
That's exactly what it is. It's a comfort movie.
It's so great. Like, I can eat a bowl of ramen with like an egg on top and just watch this movie, and I'll be okay.
Absolutely.
Secondary choice, kind of connected. I watched it the week after, so just a couple of days ago.
Okay.
I watched My Neighbor Totoro.
Okay.
I don't really know the plot of the movie, but it gave off the same vibe.
Totoro doesn't really have so much of a plot, so much as like scenes that make you smile.
Yeah, there was a lot of scenes that made me smile. It just made me happy.
So there's a fun fact here, because Totoro is also directed by Miyazaki.
Yes.
Miyazaki does not write scripts. Mm-hmm. Miyazaki draws scenes that he really likes, so he essentially storyboards, and then writers at Studio Ghibli also write the scripts. And they go based on the frames that Miyazaki draws. They are really good, really fun. You know?
Good soup.
Good soup. But yeah, those are two really good choices.
Yeah,
to pick from the Studio
those,
Ghibli catalog.
I watched those sequentially within the same time frame, and
That's understandable.
Those are very happy movies, especially after watching The Hunt.
Because Spirited Away is most definitely my. It switches back and forth between Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke as my favorite Studio Ghibli film.
Princess Mononoke is my favorite.
And then
I watched that whenever we lived in the dorms together.
Yeah, those were good. And then My Neighbor Totoro is just it's a top 5 for sure in the Studio Ghibli canon.
Yeah, that's it for the podcast. I'm Nathan, this is Anthony. We're Amateur Cinephiles. Our tags are going to be here for you.
Yeah.
Here for me, and here for Amateur Cinephiles.
Okay.
Next week, can we say what we're watching?
No, because the lists keep changing all the time.
It's very annoying and it's hard to deal with, and we're sorry.
Absolutely. Bottom 100 keeps adding movies to it. I have a feeling this new Cinderella one's going to get added pretty soon. It's already got a really low score, and I think it's only going to get lower because it's only been out for a couple days.
But for sure, next week we're going to watch a Bollywood film.
Yes.
Which I'm excited for. You've probably a lot. It's more of an Indian film than Bollywood, like you said.
Pather Panchali
and then,
from the 1950s.
Yeah, and then our bad movie is
The Love Guru, as long as it doesn't change, with Mike Myers and Justin Timberlake. Oh, I hate that movie.
But our scores, I gave it a 9, you gave it a 9 for The Hunt, and 4 for Chun-Li, 2 for Chun-Li.
All right.
Good recap. Bye.
Adios.
Good?
Yeah.
That was good.
That was good.